name is Bas Rutten. Bas, not Bas. One S, Bas. So now next time, everybody who sees me, call me Bas, don't call me Bas. 50% of the people do that. Drives me nuts. Rutten, R-U-T-T-E-N is my last name. It's a very common name in Holland. Bas, they name dogs Bas in Holland. I'm not kidding. They're your best friend also, so that's a good thing, I guess. But I used to be the 3-time King of Pancras in Japan and former heavyweight champion of the UFC.
I grew up in Eindhoven. I was an asthma patient. When I had an asthma attack for 3 weeks, I had to stay in bed, pissing on bed, doing everything on bed, eating. I couldn't walk because when I walked like 5 passes, I had to stop and start breathing. But I had it also with a skin disease. All my family was sending sheets to my parents and they were tearing them in small pieces. And every night they had to put everything on me and wiggle me in like a mummy. And every night I started scratching, everything went open again. So my mother, I was like a mother's child, you know. Mm-hmm. Every day in my hands. I had to wear gloves to go to school. So I grew up like that. Grew up that people pick on you because I was always really skinny because of the asthma. You walk around, they call you a leper, whatever, you know. So I think that came my shit came from my reason to win.
I got involved in martial arts in 1976 when Bruce Lee had the movie Enter the Dragon. It was playing in France. I was 12 years old. I had to actually slip into the movie there because it was for 17 years and older at the time. And there we watched Bruce Lee. So I was begging my parents, please let me do Taekwondo, but they never allowed me. They're very against, they think it's violence. So after 2 years of begging, they finally allowed me to do it. The first class, I think in about 6 weeks, 2 months, I was beating up the brown belts. So my confidence was rising. I had a good feel for fighting. And then I got in a street fight with the biggest bully in town, Shaki. And I knocked him out. One punch, broke his nose, knocked him out, but the police showed up. So that meant no more Taekwondo, because of course my parents were against it. And then when I moved out of the house, when I was, I think 20 or 21, I started doing Taekwondo right away. Then I went to karate, started doing Kyokushin karate. And I realized that competing, you know, like in Taekwondo, it's only kicks. So I looked for something more. Then I went to karate. Oh, that's good. Kyokushin karate was full contact, you know, but still no punches allowed to the head. And then a friend of mine was doing Thai boxing. He says, man, you should go do Thai boxing. I went to a Thai boxing class, got dropped on a body shot, liver shot. That's where my love of the liver shot comes from. And that was it. I was hooked. I wanted to compete. I think 6 weeks later was my first match. My wife, when I met her, like 3 months in our relationship, she had a weird look in her eye and she says, I said, what's going on? She says, you will become a famous fighter in Japan. I said, no, because I'm never going to fight anymore. She says, yeah, but you said you were never going to fight in Holland, but you're going to fight in Japan. I go, whatever, you know. And then like 4 months later, I get a phone call. Now, and I never picked up the call, and the answering machine was broken. For some reason, I picked up the call, and it's Chris Dolman, and he says, Bas, you got to come to Amsterdam tonight, get in your car, because there's a tryout. These new guys from Japan are looking for fighters. I say, okay. I jump in the car, drive to Amsterdam, get in a brawl with one of the rings champions at the time, and because they're filming, he tries to hurt me, so I knocked him out with a high kick. And he had a whole bunch of stitches in his eye, so they shipped him off to the hospital, and that's where I saw Funaki and Suzuki there. They were pointing at me. They say, we want him. And then I believe 2 months later, I was fighting in Japan. It was the wildest thing. I had no clue. I thought there were rounds. I thought there were weight classes. My first guy was 245. I'm like 195, 200 pounds at the time. I go, dude, he's 50 pounds heavier, yeah. But that's normal here. All right. I say, how many rounds? They say, 1 round. I say, awesome. How many minutes? 30. I go, awesome. But inside, I go, oh. from Japan, And the next day, and I had to show people who put babies in my hand and make pictures with me. It blew me away. In Holland, when you go in and you knock out a Dutch guy, try to get out alive. You know, people start throwing things at you, you know, but they embraced me. It was like, wow, what a great country it is. The world's most handsome man, I grew up with it. I've been used to that. You know, for me, every time when I look in the mirror, I go, hell yeah. You know, that's what I'm saying. No, but the cool thing was, though, I used to be a model. I have modeling pictures for you. You cannot believe. You laugh so hard. It's all blue steel. Oh, it's really funny. And I had a lot of work. I worked a lot as a model. But I was young. That was at the time, and they let the feminine guys go, and they brought the guys in. But I remember when I shaved my head. I was always doing my hair. You know, it had to be nice. And one time I couldn't fix my hair. And I went again wrong, and I went again wrong, and I see a blow dryer, and I grab a blow dryer, and I look in the mirror, and I see myself with a purple blow dryer, and I go, and I walked out. And my ex-wife, my wife at the time, said, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "I'm gonna shave myself bald." Bye. And she started laughing. She thought I was joking. And I went straight to the barber and said, "Shave it up." And then when he shaved it off, I was one of the guys. I shaved this when I was 22 or 23. People don't realize I have this for 23 years, you know, all the way back when nobody did this. And I looked, I go, dude, I'm never gonna grow it back. And I jump in the pool, you come out, go dry. You know, and it's the best. It's the best. Out of the shower, yeah, soap, and you just do this, and you're clean. It's unbelievable, you know. So my life is about your personal legend. And here I go again, everybody will say this. It's like the book The Alchemist from Paulo Coelho. And if you didn't read that, get that book. And it will tell you that you have to stay on the path. And all the people that come to you, you know, are omens. That's what they call it there. They're there for a reason. Like I said with my wife, she said to me, "You're going to be a famous fighter in Japan." Boom. Then, when I was fighting a year in Japan, she looks at me again. I said, "Now what?" She says, "We're going to move to America. You're going to be in TV business." And now I got 2 shows on TV. How weird is that? You know, she was my omen. She steered me in the right direction, did everything. You know, and you have to recognize the omens that you get, the people that help you further in your career, you know, and go to the top, but never step on people. And if you do that, I think you're going to have a really great career. And that with me, the way that everything is going, I truly believe that's the reason. And right now, my life is unbelievable. I streamed into becoming a commentator. Suddenly, the commentating became a weekly show. We just had our 200th episode, 4 years. I mean, it's crazy. Now I have suddenly another TV show. Just scored my biggest movie, a big summer hit movie with Kevin James, Salma Hayek, Henry Winkler, and myself. You know, I mean, comedy that I always wanted to do. We're working on TV now, doing something. My dream is to do like an MMA comedy, something with comedy on TV. But I'm extremely happy with everything I'm having right now. They always say, if you make your job your work, you never go to work. And it's literally for me all the time. Wherever I go, now I can pick. My first 11 years here, very, very hard. I had to work every day. I had to fly to Japan every time. I've been 151 times to Japan. I counted it. I had to count it when I became a citizen here. I missed all the Christmases and New Year's. The first 9 Christmases and New Year's in America, I missed. I missed the holidays, anniversaries, father-daughter dances. I missed so much stuff because I came back and right away I had to go again, do seminars I worked my butt off. I was in trouble every time with taxes. And my wife always said to me, he says, "Don't worry, you're gonna get it." You know, I did a reunion show in Holland. It's really cool. 2.9 million people were watching it there. You have to understand, that's like 60 million watching it. It's 15 million people there. And that was really cool. The bullies, they were invited, but nobody showed up, of course, from the school. And I said, man, I wanted to thank them because they made me. They made the person who I was. You know? And it was cool to see, going back in history and see what you were, and that kid with the gloves on and the eczema in the face and the hands, and then, you know, suddenly, my life has only been going like this. There's almost never been a dip. There's always go steady, 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 steady. Just keep doing it, I say. And every person I hear, there's every interview, and I listen to these guys. You ask any person who's successful, they always say, never give up. They all say this, right? And I acknowledged it a long time ago, and my wife also. I said, I'm simply not going to give up. I'm going to keep on pushing. And it will come eventually, because that's it. Then you fight for it. And then once they see it up there, or whatever, I don't know how it works, you know, then suddenly it gets good. Every day I get in my car, I go, yeah, you know, happy. Every day when I pump gas in my car and I can put it full, I can fill it up. I think about the time that I couldn't do that. I have to put for $6 gas in there because I had no more money. You know, that's cool stuff. Little things like that. If you keep appreciating those, then you have a good life.